You said you've been here for 28 weeks now?
Damn,
29 weeks?
28 out of the 29. My name is Avi Hoffman, and I grew up in the Bronx as a child of Holocaust survivors. My grandfather was picked up off the street and sent to a slave labor camp in Siberia. And my father was picked up off the street and sent to a little place that you might have heard of called Auschwitz. My entire family was murdered. He survived, which is why I'm here. So
you easily recognize.
Well, but so the day, even before Alligator Alcatraz, I remember driving down the highway, and there were these buses, 10, 12 buses, Operation Thunderbolt or whatever he called it. And they stopped traffic. And I got my camera out and I went, oh shit, this is like ice, and they're stopping people and taking them to the airport. And I was like, oh, that's terrible. And then this. And, when I found out from Noel at the Workers' Circle, my family was involved with the Workers' Circle pretty much all my life, from the time they came to America after the war. And the Workers' Circle was this amazing Yiddish-speaking Jewish organization that was social justice. And so we were always involved with that, and they spoke Yiddish, and I was brought up speaking Yiddish. And so Yiddish became like a connection with the Workers' Circle. And then they decided to organize these. And they called me up and said, hey, we're organizing this vigil. This was 30 weeks ago.
Wow.
And I was just like, oh, wait, Alligator Alcatraz. I live 90 minutes away. You know what? Yeah, I'll go. And that was it.
What was your first thought when you heard this place was being built?
Well, you see, it's interesting because over 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when the Orange Menace came down the escalator and said Mexicans are all rapists, I said on social media, I started posting, never again is now. This is how it happens. So when this opened,
thank you so much.
I felt like, sure, of course. I mean, that was the only possible conclusion to what we started then, and here we are again.
Yep.
And I've been here 28 of the past 29 weeks, and my life changed. I'm a student at the University of Miami. I'm a graduate student getting my degree in documentary film, just by coincidence.
Right.
I was doing another documentary film about Yiddish, about traveling around the world, doing theater, which is what I have done all my life. And suddenly I was here getting footage every week I'm shooting. I had camera crews, students coming out, shooting. And about 5 weeks in, my professor asked me about the impact of my proposed documentary film. And I realized that what I was working on meant very little compared to this.
Yep.
And I changed my thesis, and it's now called Finding Faith.
Wow.
In Alligator Alcatraz.
Wow.
And do you know who ended up finding faith?
Who?
Me. I grew up an atheist. Still have trouble believing in anything called a God, because I'm not sure what that means. But here I am for 29 weeks with all these faith leaders, and they help me find faith in humanity.
Right.
In hope.
Right.
In people. In the goodness of mankind.
Right.
Even in the face of this.
Yep.
Right across the street while we're sitting on top of a bus getting footage on top of a bus about a faith vigil of all these people making hearts. You know what?
Yeah, that's the thing that I really found in doing this work, because I was in the same boat. I was working on a documentary. I was trying to build my own media company and everything. I was doing music videos, commercials, trying to build something, and then I've been speaking out against, Trump and the rise of fascism for, since 2015.
Right.
And this was, if he was voted in again, I knew this was the logical conclusion. Like, I read Project 2025.
Sure.
I did, all sorts of research, and I spent so long trying to tell people that I knew about this, and so many people said I was either crazy or that, it would never get that bad, and it's like it's getting that bad right in front of our very eyes.
Right.
How can't we all see it? Till we get to this, but doing this job and having that shift and everything has given me faith
Minneapolis,
as well.
man. You were in Minneapolis.
Being in Minneapolis,
That's like-
if you're talking about finding faith in humanity when people are in the most traumatic situation within that community, how they're being just traumatized and brutalized by ISIS terror, and then just seeing the solidarity and resilience, that community comes together and they take care of one another.
Yeah.
They,
In 2012 below.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're sitting out
Negative
here in
20
80 degrees.
Yeah.
It's nice. I'm wearing a shirt, whatever.
100,000 people marching on the streets in negative 20 degrees.
I mean, we have 150 people here if we're lucky, 250. I think the most we ever had here in 29 weeks was about 300 and something.
Which is why
Which was amazing.
I really want to showcase that's why we went there, that's why we got all that we got, because we want to showcase what Minneapolis is doing and tell other communities, hey, you need to recreate this, build that network, those lines of mutual aid, take care of one another, build an actual resistance to what is happening. And they're so effective in organizing, but also, the humanity, the resilience, people coming together and just taking care of one another has
we've
put my
taken
faith.
back. We're
Yeah.
taking back America, and it's slow. I interviewed 2 days ago. It's really amazing what's been happening with this film, because the people I've come in contact with at the University of Miami, where I'm going, Professor of Law Erwin Stotsky argued successfully in front of the Supreme Court with the Haitian TPS case. So I interviewed him about Alligator Alcatraz, about which he wrote an op-ed in the Miami Herald, which I suggest you should all read. Anyway, I interviewed him 2 days ago, and he's also very much like this. We saw this coming.
Right.
And he said the only way eventually, we're going to fight it, we're going to fight it legally, whatever. He says, but we're eventually going to lose in the courts. Right now they're holding up, but once it gets to the Supreme Court, chances are they're going to start. He said the only way we can beat this.
Don't forget to come down.
Okay.
Okay. We're coming down now.
Close the video.
We're going to be okay.
They're gonna be okay.
I just hope it doesn't get much worse before it gets better. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you so much, Avi.
Yeah,
Thank you so much.
Sure.
I really
Thank you.
appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the work that you're doing.